Hare Krishna. Canto 3, Chapter 5, Text 1. Sri Sukha Uvacha Dvaridunadya Gurunam Maitreyam Asinam Agadbodham Shatopascha Chuta Pavasiddhaha Papraja Soselya Guna Britaha.
Translations. Hare Krishna. Shukadeva Goswami said, Vidura, the best amongst the Kuru dynasty who was perfect in devotional service to the Lord, thus reached the source of the celestial Ganges river, Haridwar, where Maitreya, the great fathomless, learned sage of the world, was seated. Vidura, who was perfect in gentleness and satisfied in transcendence, inquired from him.
Hare Krishna. I'm so sorry I forgot to start with invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 2. Vidura Uvacha Sukhaya Karmani Karoti Loko Nate Sukham Vanyadu Paramam Va Vindita Bhasyastata Eva Dukham Yadatra Yuktam Bhavan Vadenaha.
Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness, but one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness.
Text 3. Vanasya Krishna Vimukasya Vai Daivad Adharma Silasya Sudukhis Anugrahayeha Charanti Nudam Bhutani Bhavyani Janadanasya.
O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord.
Text 4. Tatsaduvatyati savatma samnaha samradito bhagavan yena punsam hridististo yachati bhakti bhute gnanam satadvadhigamanam purnanam.
Therefore, O great sage, please give me instruction on how the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that he who is situated in the heart of everyone can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of the absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles, delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service.
Text 5. Karoti karmani kritva taro yanitma tantro bhagavam strayadistaha yatha sargajra idam nirihaha samstapye vritim jagato vidate.
O great sage, kindly narrate how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the independent, desireless Lord of the three worlds and the controller of all energies, accepts incarnations and creates the cosmic manifestation with perfectly arranged regulative principles for its maintenance.
Text 6. Yatha purna svekam idam niveshya visete Guhyam sa nivrita vritihi go yogeswaradiswara ekatad anupravisto bahudayaste yathasit.
He lies down on his own heart spread in the form of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space, he expands himself into many living entities, which are manifested as different species of life. He does not have to endeavor for his maintenance, because he is the master of all mystic powers and the proprietor of everything. Thus he is distinct from the living entities.
Text 7. Kridan vidate dvijuko suranam shemaya karmani avatar pede mano na tripyati अपि शृण्वतं नः सुश्लोकमौलिचरितामृतानि.
You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations for the welfare of the twice-born, the cows, and the demigod. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities.
Text 8. यस्तत्त्वभेदेरधिलोकनाथो लोकनलोकं सह लोकपालन् अलौकिचिक्पादयत्रा हि सर्वसत्त्वा निकायभेदोद्रिक्तः प्रतीता.
The Supreme King of all kings has created different planets and places of habitation where living entities are situated in terms of the modes of nature and work, and he has created their different kings and rulers.
Text 9. येन प्रजानाम् उत आत्मकर्म रूपाभिधानं चापितं विधाता नारायणो विस्वर्ग्स आत्मयोनिरेच नो वर्णय विप्रवार्य.
O chief amongst the Brahmanas, please also describe how Narayan, the creator of the universe and the self-sufficient Lord, has differently created the natures, activities, forms, features, and names of the different living creatures.
Text 10. Paravareshan Bhagavan Vritani Srutani me Vyasamukhadapekshanam Adpanoma Shula Sukhavahanam Te Sambrite Krishna Kathamritogat.
O my Lord, I have repeatedly heard about these higher and lower statuses of human society from the mouth of Vyasadeva, and I am quite satiated with all these lesser subject matters and their happiness. They have not satisfied me with the nectar of the topics about Krishna.
Text 11. Kasnuyatritha padabhedanat Shatre Suvasuripiridyamanat Yatkarnanadim Purusasyato Bhava Pradamrike Haratim Jinati.
Who in human society can be satisfied without hearing the sufficient talk of the Lord, whose lotus feet are the sum total of all places of pilgrimage, and who is worshipped by great sages and devotees? Such topics can cut off one's bondage to family affection simply by entering the holes of one's ears.
Text 12. Munir Vivakshur Bhagavan Gunanam Saikapite Bharat Maha Krishna Yasmin Nanam Kramya Sukhanuvadirmatir Kritanu Harikatayam.
Your friend, the great sage Krishna Vaipayana Vyasa has already described the transcendental qualities of the Lord in his great work, the Mahabharata. But the whole idea is to draw the attention of the mass of the people to Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, through their strong affinity for hearing mundane subjects.
Text 13. Sashratadhanasya vidartamana viraktim anyatra karoti pamsaha hare padanushrinir smritinirvritasya samastadukhaapyayamasudate.
For one who is anxious to engage in constantly hearing such topics, Krishna Katha gradually increases his indifference towards all other things. Such constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna by the devotee who has achieved transcendental bliss vanquishes all the miseries without delay.
Text 14. Danchoja socha navido nisoche hare kathayam vimukhanakena shinoti devo nimisastu yesam ayurvadagati smritinam.
O sage, persons who, because of their sinful activities, are averse to the topics of the transcendence and thus ignorant of the purpose of the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, are pitied by the pitiable. I also pity them because I see how their duration of life is spoiled by eternal time while they involve themselves in presentations of philosophical speculation, theoretical ultimate goals of life, and different modes of ritual.
Text 15. Tadasya Kausaravasamadatur Hare Katame Vakatha Susaram Udartya Pushpebhya Ivarta Bando Shivaya Nakirtaya Tirtha Kirta.
O Maitreya, O friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord.
Text 16. Saviva Svajanma Sthiti Samyamarthe Kritva Kritavatara Prakita Sakti Chakra Karmani Atipurvisani Yani Swarakirtayatani Mayam.
Kindly chant all those superhuman transcendental activities of the Supreme Controller, the personality of Godhead, who accepted incarnations fully equipped with all potency for the full manifestation and maintenance of the cosmic creation.
Text 17. Sri Suka Uvacha Sa evam Bhagavan Prishta Kshatra Kausaravo Manihi Sumsam Nihreya Sarthena Tam Aha Bahumanayan.
Shukdeva Goswami said, the great sage Maitreya Muni, after honoring Vidura very greatly, began to speak at Vidura's request for the greatest welfare of all people. Thank you for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sorry for my mistakes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Chetna Mataji and Jyoti Mataji, for the very nice recitations. Thank you. I think Jyoti Mataji, you did well. Well done to you. Thank you. Okay, so dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This evening, Krishna Govinda Prabhuji was supposed to facilitate our class, but unfortunately, he's unable to join us today. So, in his place, Mamta Mataji will be facilitating in a short while.
I'm
So,
here, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining.
Mataji.
So, Mamta Mataji, would you like to do the Mangla Charan? And
You
then
can,
we
you can
have.
do the Manglacharan, Mataji, please.
Okay, thank you.
Hare
You
Krishna.
can all join me behind muted mics. So, let's start. ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरा भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा Thank you. So, Mataji, shall we do the bhajan first, or would you like to have the bhajan at the end of the class?
We can do up the class first, Mataji, and then we can do the bhajan. It's okay. It's up to
Okay,
you.
that's
How
fine.
will
We'll do the class first, then at 8:40 we'll have the bhajan. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. The verses today. First of all, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for again giving me this opportunity, but I'm afraid it's just a very short notice. So we will try among all of us, try to make this class happen with Krishna's mercy and Sri Vyasadeva's mercy will let it happen. So today the verses we need to cover is from 24 to 27, chapter 5, Vidura talks with Maitreya. So Mataji, as you know, every time I think I need just a volunteer. If somebody can just start off with the verse. And
Yes,
then,
if we could have the verses on the screen, please. Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm sharing. Can you see my screen?
yes, Mataji, we can see.
We are on 12.
But it says, no, it says 12th verse. It says text 12 though.
Text 12 and then synonyms and then translation.
No, we're not 12 now, Mataji. It's 25, I think. Yeah.
No.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think in the chat group it says 13 to 15 Mataji.
Oh, does it say 13, 15? Okay.
I think so, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that then. That's all right. We'll just go with
That's right. It's 13 to 15.
13 to 15.
Oh,
yeah.
because I was under the impression it was 12. That doesn't matter. It's okay. We'll just read to that first. Then is that okay?
Yeah.
If somebody can volunteer. Is it 13 or 12 then?
13, Mataji.
14, 15, Mataji.
Okay, let's go with that then. I'll go along with you guys then. It's all right. Okay. Hare Krishna. Let's start. Can I have one volunteer, please? Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, what would you like me to recite?
Mataji, please read the verse and you can read the synonyms and the translation and the purport, please.
Okay. Sure. For those topics of Krishna or Krishna Katha, Shraddhanasya, of one who is
Mataji, please read the verse. Can you? It's all right if you can't. That's all right. Don't worry. Dasradhanasya
Satanasya Vivadmana
virakti
Manyatra Karoti Pamsaha Hare Padanushmriti Nirvastasya Samashta Dukha Yam Astu Date. The signum knows?
Yes, let's read the synonyms also, Mataji, if it's okay.
Okay. So, those topics of Krishna or Krishna Katha, Shraddhanasya, of one who is anxious to hear, Vivardhamana, gradually increasing, Vira Kritim, indifference, Anyantra, in other things than such topics, Karoti does, Pumsaha, of one who is engaged, Hare, of the Lord, Pada Anushmriti, constant remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord, Niritasya, one who has achieved such transcendental bliss, Samasta Dukha, all miseries, Apyayam, one vanquished Asu, without delay, Date, executes. Translation. For one who is anxious to engage constantly in hearing such topics, Krishna Katha gradually increases his indifference towards all other things. Such constant remembrance of the Lord, feet of the Lord Krishna, by the devotee who has achieved transcendental bliss, vanquishes always miseries without delay. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, purport, please. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Yes, Hare Krishna. We must certainly know that on the absolute planet, Krishna Katha and Krishna are one and the same. The Lord is the absolute truth, and therefore his name, form, quality, etc., which are all understood to be Krishna Kantha, are non-different from him. Bhagavad Gita being spoken by the Lord is as good as the Lord himself. When a sincere devotee leads Bhagavad Gita, as this is the good, is seeing the Lord face to face in his personal presence. But this is not for the mundane wrangler. All the potencies of the Lord are there when one reads Bhagavad Gita, provided it is read in a way recommended in the Gita by the Lord himself. One cannot foolishly manufacture an interpretation of Bhagavad Gita and still gain transcendental benefit. Anyone who tries to squeeze some artificial meaning or interpretation from Bhagavad Gita for an ulterior motive is not Shraddhana Pumsa, one engaged anxiously in bona fide hearing of Krishna Katha. Such a person can derive any benefit from reading Bhagavad Gita. However, great a scholar he may be, in the estimation of laymen, the Shraddhana or faithful devotee can actually derive on the benefits of Bhagavad Gita, because by the omnipotency of the Lord, he achieves the transcendental bliss which vanquishes attachment and nullifies all concomitant material miseries. Only the devotee, by his factual experience, can understand the import of the verse spoken by Vidura. The pure devotee of Lord enjoys life by constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, by hearing Krishna Katha. For such a devotee, there is such thing as material existence, and the much advertised bliss of Brahma Ananda is like a fig for a devotee who is in the midst of the transcendental ocean of bliss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay.
So in this verse here, what we can understand of here is Srila Prabhupada in his purport is trying to explain that the Krishna's name is same as Krishna himself. You know, so let me just read the verse which says, Sa Shraddhadanasya Vivardhamana Virakti Manyatra Karoti Pumsaha Hare Padano Smriti Snirvitrasya Samasta Dukkhapya Yamashudhate. So anybody who is anxious, for one who is anxious to engage constantly in hearing such topics, Krishna Katha gradually increases his indifference towards all other things. So one who is wanting, we need a curiosity to listen to Krishna Katha. When we have that curiosity to listen, so anything, if you show more interest into it, then your concentration will go into that, and then you will have you have no meaning of the other things around you. So it doesn't matter to you if it is all the things around you look towards the same, they don't have enough value. But the most important thing is the Krishna Katha over there. So by remembering constantly, actually being curious and remembering anything about the Lord, and what as devotees we should concentrate on the lotus feet of the Lord, then what will happen is all your miseries will vanish without delay. This is what the verse they're trying to say. So over here in the purport, what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say is we must actually understand that Krishna and Krishna Kathas, pastimes of Krishna. So what we are doing every day, what we are doing is we are listening to the pastimes. So the pastimes of Krishna is same as Krishna himself. And saying Mahamantra is, we're thinking of just chanting Mahamantra, is same as actually talking to Krishna, or just how we are doing service, deity service, same as Krishna. So the name in this Kali Yuga, in this time which we are living, we are lucky that we can just only by chanting Krishna's name, we can achieve all the punya of doing lots of services and tapasya and lots of sacrifices, which they used to do in the Satya Yuga and Dwapar Yuga. They used to do more difficult things, but we can't. As human beings, our life is so short and our memory is so short, our attention span is so short that Krishna is saying you don't have to do all those work, just only call me, I'll be there. It's equal to you're doing all the seva. So over here the Lord, and therefore his name, form, quality, whatever, he's not even giving any importance to the one who is giving, doing deity services greater than you or lesser than you. Is enough if you just only chant my name. If you can't chant my name, at least listen to my katha. Now listen to the Bhagavad, what we are doing Bhagavatam. People are doing so many other things, but at least by hearing, Shravanam, at least there's having some changes in the heart. And Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. So you think that as a Krishna is in front of you, and you think you're Arjuna and Krishna is telling you the story. And by understanding that, by reading Bhagavad Gita, if you have that sort of imagination, Krishna is over there sitting and telling you the story, that itself means that you are actually praying to Krishna itself. So you have to try to imagine how Krishna was over there. Even that thought process, if you get in, that's enough for us, for the people we are living in this world. And over here, Srila Prabhupada tries to say this purport is with your sincerity, with your sincerity. If you do anything, you do with sincerity, obviously it'll pay off. So when a sincere devotee reads Bhagavad Gita, this is as good as seeing the Lord face to face in his personal presence. But this is not so for people who can't understand, for a mundane person. He will think, what is this book? This is just a book. I can't understand. It's so dry. What is this verses? What is this? I mean, how initially when any of us before coming into Krishna consciousness, when we were reading Bhagavad Gita, it made no sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. What are these verses? But when you actually apply, when you start applying these things, principles like Krishna is talking to you, somebody is talking to you in this way. When you put a person in front of you and the person is talking to you in the form of verses, and you're able to, and the translation is there for you. Suppose, obviously, all of us can't understand Sanskrit so well because we have not been reading Sanskrit from childhood. So it's not our spoken language, it's not a mother tongue. So it becomes a bit difficult for us to understand those verses. But for a person whose mother tongue is Sanskrit from the very beginning, for them it is just like normal talk, how we're talking, like I'm talking to you now in English, and I'm telling you whatever little sentence I'm making and I'm speaking to you, you can absorb it. You don't have to concentrate also. You can do other works, and then you can just listen far off and you can still understand what I'm trying to say or grasp what I'm trying to say. So what happens over here is, if you start, for all of us, we're having difficulty in reading Sanskrit. So whatever translation we have, either somebody in Hindi or other languages, whatever they have, even if you understand what the verses says and feel as though somebody is there in front of you and talking to you and trying to, and you're listening. So in that way, you can absorb them, all the verses, much more better. And imagine Krishna is sitting in front of you and trying to speak to you. When he's speaking to you, then you feel and listen more attentively. So that's a nice way of actually understanding. So whenever we read a Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita at home, so all of us read some scriptures, right? So who was one of nice devotees was saying, no, it is from I think from Vrindavan only somebody. He's saying, put a asan, what you should do, from one of the pujaris from Vrindavan. They're saying, Mataji, you just put a small asan in front of you and then you read your book and then you have to sit on asana also, because you have to sit like a small asana is like a small thing, a mat or whatever thing, so that you're not supposed to sit on the floor like that way. And you keep your book also, the Bhagavad Gita, also not on your lap. That should be kept in a nice sacred place. And of Bhagavatam, you have to give the due respect to that book and keep it nicely. And then you, in front of you, you keep a asana. So in that asana, what are you going to do? In that small seat, you are actually offering Krishna, please come and sit. And so in that way, you're giving Krishna the space to sit over there. And then you sit, and then you read the sacred book. And then Krishna will be sitting and listening. You can see some of the pictures over there when they show this old sage is trying to read, and then Krishna, baby Krishna, is sitting and listening. That's exactly it can happen. You won't even realize. So if you try doing that, doing that, whichever sacred book you're reading, but what you do is you place a asana for Krishna, and then you do it, and you see the difference, because then it will make you understand the thing. You can understand things in a much more better way than just reading like a normal person, just reading it. So try to implement that in your reading whenever you read the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, because these are all transcendental books. So you feel as if whenever a sincere devotee reads Bhagavad Gita, this is as good as seeing the Lord face to face in his personal presence. So you'll feel as though feel that God is telling you or speaking to you. But a person who has no, an atheist will think like, oh, what is this? This is such a dry subject, I can't do. Yeah. So now we have to see all the potencies of the Lord are there when one reads Bhagavad Gita, provided it is read in the way recommended in the Gita by the Lord himself. So we have to understand how Lord wants us to hear the Gita. That is one more thing. So we have to follow all the instructions of the manual. We can't just pick and choose and do things the way we want and then say it's not working. You got to do everything from A to Z. If you're trying to set up, or maybe you get a stuff from IKEA, and it'll be labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, D, F, or whatever it is. And if you miss one of the ways, then it will not fit in. The furniture will not fit in. So you got to do it very, very systematically. So all the Vedic scriptures they have all rules and regulations, and that's why we need to follow them to some extent. Sometimes people can't read. For them, it's a different thing altogether. And for them, hearing is enough, so they don't have to read. Even if they hear, God will give them that that understanding, to understand the Bhagavad Gita itself. So, and again, over here, Krishna says over here, Sri Prabhupada tells over here, one cannot foolishly manufacture an interpretation of Bhagavad Gita and still bring about the transcendental benefits. So you cannot adulterate, you got to. So that is where the whole Guru Parampara system comes, where we are supposed to follow what are in the Parampara system, how it has been said. That is why Srila Prabhupada has said Bhagavad Gita as it is, or so that there is not your own interpretation. Your own interpretation will start coming when you're not at all, when you speculate too much, and then you start forming new words and your way of thinking, which might not be the same with everyone. Everybody has their own thinking. So that is not the right way. And here they say, anybody who tries to squeeze in some artificial meaning or interpretation from Bhagavad Gita for an ulterior motive is not Shraddhadhana Pumsaha. That means one who engaged anxiously in bona fide hearing the Krishna Katha. Such a person cannot derive any benefit from reading Bhagavad Gita, however great a scholar he may be in the estimation of a layman. So basically, you should not have an ulterior motive, You just take it. You should not adulterate the book. And if you do that, you will not have the benefit of reading the Bhagavad Gita. So, whereas a devotee who is really faithful and who reads Bhagavad Gita in a very simple way, then he can get all the benefits of reading the Gita, because the Lord, as we say, the Lord, if you only see your sincerity, then what does the Lord see? Your sincerity, like how we saw in Damodara thing, how Mata Yashoda will be tying, but he's seeing the sincerity of the mother trying to tie him, even though he's being bound. He's seeing the sincerity of Ma Yashoda wanting to really tie him to that ukhal, you know. And so the Lord sees sincerity. So with your sincerity, then the Lord will give you the understanding. Okay, I will make this person understand what I mean to what I've said of here. But if you're not sincere, if you have some other motive, then you will not understand how many times you read. Because you can see some people how sincere, with their sincerity, they really advance so well. So it is the sincerity which shows, and this is what Krishna wants. So Krishna says, you do all the work, what you're supposed to do. Do not wait for the results. Don't worry about the results. Just leave it unto me. So he wants you to do your normal work with sincerity. The same thing by reading Bhagavad Gita also. You have to read with the intention of reading, or not just because, oh, I have to do my half an hour of reading. That's it, over. That is not what it is. Even if you read for half an hour also, read with sincere devotion and you will see the results. And then over here, I think you have to mute the mics, Mataji. I think somebody is talking behind the mic. Somebody's mic is on. So the Shraddhadana, or the faithful devotee, can actually derive all the benefits of the Bhagavad Gita, because by the omnipotency of the Lord, he achieves the transcendental bliss which vanquishes attachment and nullifies all concomitant material miseries. So the one which we are really hankering for is the detachment, you see. We are all, because we're living in this conditioned world, we are attached to all these conditioned things. So by being sincere with our devotional service, it will help us remove or cut all the ties from this material world. So when it cuts all the ties in the material world, then you will really concentrate more into the devotional service, or the devotional reading, or listening to Krishna Katha, or doing the service, anything for devotional, coming more closer to Krishna. He will slowly cut away all the ties. He'll have a small scissor and be cutting off all the threads, you know. Okay, you take this, the most wanting bond, it has to go now. Because of that, Krishna, there's a story where I think what happens is a story I think I must have read. So basically, there will be this rich man who will, he will not be able to feed other people, you know, because even though he's very rich, he's very miser. He's such a miserly man, and he will not be feeding people, but he'll have lots of money with him. And then there's this poor man who is really very poor, but I think he will have some source, whether it is his a cow which gives all the milk and all that. So he'll be trying to feed all the brahmanas and all the devotees, you know. And so what happens with the time? Then I think it's a description. It was a talk between, I don't know whether it was Narada and somebody else. I don't know whoever it is. And then what happens is, as time goes on, then the Lord will actually kill the cow. Basically, the cow will die, and then the devotee will ask, "Why did you kill the cow?" Because the Brahmana was doing so much of good deeds to people, you know, and whereas the rich fellow, he was not able to give anything to others, even had lots of money. You gave him more and more money over there. So Krishna will say, see, the only thing which was keeping this man coming to me was his attachment over there to the cow was preventing him from coming to me, because he was feeding all the brahmanas. So feeding everybody and doing good service, whereas the rich man, he was so attached to his money, so I gave him more money so he can be more and more attached, and let him live here more and more in this material world. But the brahmana who was trying to feed the devotees and doing good service, he was unable to do, because the cow was making him do all the things. So by killing the cow, there is only attachment for the cow, for the brahmana. So the cow died, so he'll be coming back to me very quickly. So in that way, sorry if I'm not able to tell the story a bit properly, but I happen to remember. But in that way, Krishna will try to cut away all the attachments which we have, attachments to our family, to our children, to our material things. So when Krishna starts loving you more and more, all these things will get slowly detached from you, so that you can concentrate on Krishna more and more. So over here, by reading this Bhagavad Gita more and more, then what will happen? He will remove away all your material desires, all the miseries will go. And so only the devotee, by his factual experience, can understand the import of this verse spoken by Vidura. So the pure devotee of the Lord enjoys life by constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing Krishna Katha. For such a devotee, there is no such thing as material existence, and the much advertised bliss of Brahmananda is like a fig for the devotee who is in the midst of transcendental ocean of bliss. So for a devotee who understands the Lord, he will understand all the leelas. So we will not take anything in a negative way. We can understand that how whatever is happening, it is because of Krishna's desire. So all we are being in the Krishna consciousness, if anything happens, we say, okay, we learn how to change the attitude towards the world. When we, after becoming Krishna conscious, if something not so good happens or happens to you, then you start thinking, oh, it is Krishna's will. It's okay. This is something we learned in being in Krishna consciousness. So that is because we understand, as a devotee, we understand that Krishna has something written up for us, so we follow whatever comes to us. So let's read the next verse, please, if you don't mind.
I can read Mataji. Hare Krishna, if that's okay.
Hare Krishna, yes, please. Thank you.
Text 14.
Sorry, please, let me just quickly say, I think we forgot to invoke Bhagavatam. Om Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishna. I was thinking I'll do it before the verse, but I just got caught into it, Mataji. Please forgive me.
Hare Krishna. Text 14. Tancho chayo so chayan avido nusache Hare rakatyam vimukham nakena Shinoti devo nimisastu tuyesham Ayurthavat gati spritinam. Translation. O sage persons, who because of their sinful activities are averse to the topics of transcendence and thus ignorant of the purpose of the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, are pitied by the pitiable. I also pity them because I see how their duration of life is spoiled by eternal time, while they involve themselves in presentations of philosophical speculation, theoretical ultimate goals of life, and different mode of ritual. Purport. According to the modes of material nature, there are three kinds of relationship between human beings and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of ignorance and passion are averse to the existence of God, or else they formally accept the existence of God in the capacity of an order supplier. Above them are those who are in the modes of goodness. The second class of men believe in the Supreme Brahman to be impersonal. They accept the cult of bhakti, in which hearing of Krishna Katha is the first item, as a means and not the end. Above them are those who are pure devotees. They are situated in the transcendental stage above the mode of material goodness. Such persons are decidedly convinced that the name, form, fame, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-different from one another on the absolute plane. For them, hearing of the topics of Krishna is equal to meeting with him face to face. According to this class of men, who are situated in pure devotional service to the Lord, the highest goal of human life is purusartha, devotional service to the Lord, the real mission of life. The impersonalist, because they engage in mental speculation and have no faith in the personality of the Godhead, have no business hearing the topics of Krishna. Such persons are pitiable for the first class pure devotees of the Lord. The pitiable impersonalists pity those who are influenced by the modes of ignorance and passion, but the pure devotees of the Lord take pity on them, both because both waste their most valuable time in the human form of life in false pursuits, sense enjoyment, and mental speculation, presentations of different theories and goals of life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So again, the same thing again, how we have to see Krishna in every form. And here Srila Prabhupada tells to tell how a person with different modes of behaves differently. So so people who are mostly in Rajas and Tamas mode, for them, these don't interest them, isn't it? The Sattva Guna people will always have interest in scriptures and not having, and especially, when we know Sattva Guna, whoever in Sattva Guna most of the time. So all the Vaishnavas are trying to be in Sattva Guna. All of us know that we in this world, most of the gunas are Rajas and Tamas. Sattva is very little. When even the whole nature was, when whole existence was formed, we see that even the Sattva Guna is also a little bit adulterated. It's not pure Sattva. So it is still mode of goodness, but not very pure mode of goodness. It will have a little bit of, so it is mixed with Rajas and Tamas. So where the Rajas and Tamas modes are very much more. So the people who are in Sattva Guna, for them, understanding things is very easy, because of the way how they live their life. So Sattva Guna is, just not only performing or being good or not doing good or bad things, but the way how you live your life is also important. That is how you try to make this life more worthwhile or worthful over here. So people who are who are doing most of the time sinful act, or because of the previous sinful activities, or they're still in the materialistic mode, in the tamas mode and all that, for them, they will not understand the importance of such the scriptures of Mahabharata or the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita. For them, they're just like normal books. And over here, what happens is people who are our intelligent person will understand the value of time and the value of reading the books and the value of our presence in this earth, or the value of human form. But people who are so involved in this material nature, they're only thinking of nothing else but the four qualities, where you're just living, eating, drinking, sleeping, and mating. You're just into that cycle. Whereas a person in the Sattva Guna thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just wasting my time. I wish I wish I have enough Lakshmi with me so that I don't even have to use. All of us are in the same group, just thinking like, you don't have to be sitting and doing work from 9 to 5. Who wants to go do that? You enjoy listening to Bhagavatam, you enjoy doing the devotional service, you enjoy. So your priorities are so different than a person who is in this other world, who doesn't even think that time is okay. I'll just live here and live the life I want to. People say most of them, of course, Western world is now changing, but earlier I used to say, people think that this is only one life and let me live the fullest. So that's what they're doing, all of them are. But we are thinking this is only one life. Let me chant the fullest. This is what we think. We are thinking like, let me do as much devotional service as I can, because I hardly have any time now. I need to do as much as possible devotional service. But these thoughts do not happen to the people who are in a different mode. So so the people who are in the Sattva Guna, they try to pity those people who are in the Tamas or the Rajas Guna, thinking like, oh my God, why are they wasting their life? So it says that I also pity them because I see how the duration of life is spoiled by eternal time. So the time is the main factor, the kala, that dictates us, what we're going to do. So kala, as Krishna comes in the form of kala, and then basically it dictates what is happening with you and how you're using your time, whether you're using it well Or do you want a little bit more time to live in this earth? Okay, Krishna will say, no problem. You can come again. If you still can't do, you can come again. You can come again. As many times as you want. I can bring you into this world. So Krishna is saying over there. So we have to really respect our time and try to think that we don't have enough time, because none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we should try as much as possible to do as much as we can. Even hearing Krishna Katha in the form of just listening as though Krishna was there, and imagining when we see, when we listen to any of all these stories, just imagining the forms, how they are, and how Krishna tells to Vidura all the stories, or sorry, to Uddhava all the stories, or to Maitreya, just reading this, listening to these stories and trying to imagine how it would have been is itself a very, very pure and very, very, it will be quite nutritional to your soul, So over here, so according to the modes of material nature, there are three kinds of relationships between human beings and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as we said, the three gunas. So those who are in the modes of ignorance and passion, as we say, they don't like to listen about God. They just think that, oh, God is there. Okay, fine. If you want anything, then we can ask him at the end moment. Then if he gives, it's fine. That's what they think. But above them are those who are in the mode of goodness. The second class of men believe Supreme Brahman to be impersonal. So they think that the people who are in the Rajas Guna and Tamas Guna, they think that God is just like without any form, But we who are Vaishnavas or who are in Sattva Guna, I'm putting all the Vaishnavas in Sattva Guna because at least we are a little bit better than the people who are not even thinking of God, like the atheists. So we give form to everything, to Krishna. We don't say that Krishna is impersonal. So we try to believe that Krishna is like a person. So this is a bit more, it's above than the people without formless, So that when God is impersonal, then you don't have any attachment. When Krishna is in the form of a human being or in the form of us, then we have more attachment, because then we can at least, relate to things more better. So they accept the cult of bhakti, in which hearing of Krishna Katha is the first item as means and not the end. So above them are those who are pure devotees and situated in the transcendental stage above the means of material goodness. Such persons are decidedly convinced of the name, form, qualities. So people who are in the form of, in the Sattva Guna, they will, for them, even the name is enough, and even the thinking about Krishna had this much qualities, or even, today I was just, for an example, what I was trying to, the way how we think about the Lord. So one of the pujari was trying to talk like, he was so much into Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, and he was not feeling well, and he became so, but she had such high fever apparently, and then he fainted. And then he was, in his mind, he was thinking like, I have to actually serve my Lord, I have to dress my Lord with these, my deities with these so-and-so clothes, and not, I have to really clean my deities properly, and want to give him new clothes, and I want to cook food and do a nice arati and all that. He was thinking all that, but because of his fever, he couldn't do all that. And apparently he fainted. But I think what he was trying to say, then he didn't know what was happening, but somebody came and told him that, oh, today your arati was so wonderful, and you did 6 times the arati, and your dressing of the deities was so wonderful. And he was trying to tell his experience that, actually, I don't even remember anything what happened. I fainted. But then Krishna comes and takes, that is his experience. He's saying like the Lord has come and trying to, whatever his wish, his thoughts were there, it was being fulfilled. So if somebody is in pure devotion, they can actually experience the magic of Krishna. So for that to happen, you'll have to be in pure devotional service, and you'll have to show sincerity. Like how Krishna says, even if you give me any just plain, you don't have to give me too much of lavish things. I'm not interested in giving me so many different types of food, because Krishna has everything. He doesn't need anything. He's only poor of love, your affection. He craves for affection. So he sees your attitude in which you do things. So even if you offer simple water, a small leaf or a flower, or a fruit, but with devotion or with love and affection, I will take that with much more this thing, affection. That'll be a much higher pedestal than a person who's giving different types of varieties and cooking for the varieties, but not showing that great affection. Or so the attitude is what Krishna wants. That we need to change. So over here, the attitude is the one which actually melts Krishna's heart. Krishna is like ice cream; it quickly melts. If you show a little bit of devotion. So the sun rays are like devotion for the ice cream to melt. So Krishna is like ice cream, and the sun rays are your devotion. So the more devotion you have, the quickly the ice cream will melt. So this is just a quotation. I'm just telling, but please, I feel like we can see Krishna in any form we want, and then we can. It's the way how you deal with it. So persons who are decidedly convinced that the name, so they the people who are in Sattva Guna will see Krishna in any form and quality, and they will not find it different from Krishna. So for them, just listening to Krishna Katha means Krishna is there, Krishna is playing with his cowherd friends, his devotees, Krishna is having a nice talk with Radharani, he's going on teasing all the gopis, and you can imagine, you can start imagining how Krishna is, what age he was, just like 8 years old, 9, 10 years old boy, trying to tease all the gopis and trying to, with Radharani, the relationship they had, always teasing Radharani and trying to get a cheeky smile of her, or she's trying to get a cheeky smile of him. All those things you can imagine. And when you start imagining it that way, you'll feel it is so different, and you will start enjoying the whole rasa also, So over here, for them, hearing the topics of Krishna is equal to meeting him face to face. So according to this class of men, who are situated in pure devotional service to the Lord, the highest goal of human life is Purushartha. Purushartha means devotional service to the Lord. So for us, the real mission is serving the Lord, not that to be liberated from life, like how the people from other, they might be thinking like, okay, they say like, oh, we will all, how the people from, we as Vaishnavas, we do not want liberation, but we would like, even in other janmas also, to be the servant and servant and servant of the Lord. We just want to serve the Lord. We do not want liberation. Whereas person, the impersonalists and or people who do not, who thinks Brahma is, who thinks that God is impersonal. For them, they say, oh, when they die, they will be, they will go and merge into the Brahman, they think. But for us, we do not think like that way. We want to go and serve the Lord. So we want to not be liberated. So we will not be happy if God gives us liberation. People say, no, God, I don't want liberation. I just want to serve you all throughout my senses. As long as my soul is alive, I just want to serve your lotus feet. Now, again, and again, the people who are in Sattva Guna will start pitying people who feel that how these people are just wasting the life by just engaging into materialistic things, and none materialistic things you'll not take away with you. They'll all be left here. So anything, including your flesh, bones, your body, everything is left on this earth. When we go, we don't take a single thing. So what's the point of working for those things which you're not going to take with you at all? So the only things which you can take with you are your goodness and your devotional service and all your hearing this Krishna Katha. So you can maybe, if Krishna allows you, gives you that, if he gives you that mercy, you can remember. Maybe you never know. And Krishna might remind you maybe in the later life, in next life or something. Let's read the next verse. I think I don't want you all to miss your bhajan also. Just quickly, we'll read through that, I think. Just give me 5 minutes, Mataji. I'll just read it quickly and then we can finish off this one. Tadasya kausharva sharma datu Datur hare kathamev katha susaram Udhritya pushpepya ivarta bandho shivayana Kirtaya Tirtha Kirtehe. O Maitreya, O friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord. There are many topics for different persons and different modes of material nature, but the essential topics are those in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, materially affected conditioned souls are all more or less averse to the topics of Supreme Lord because some of them do not believe in the existence of God and some of them believe only in the impersonal feature of the Lord. So in both cases, there is nothing for them to say of God. Both the non-believers and the impersonalists deny the essence of all topics. Therefore, they engage in topics of relativity in various ways, either in the sense gratification or in mental speculation. For the pure devotees like Vidura, the topics of both the mundaners and the mental speculators are useless in all respects. Thus, Vidura requested Maitreya to talk of the essence only, the talks of Krishna and nothing else. So this is what just now we discussed. Actually, it's just a repetition. So over here, as we say, the people who are mental speculators, again, people who are really intelligent in scriptures, they want to know each and A to Z of Gita, but they just want to speculate. But they're not at all thinking, they're not giving the feelings, they're just trying to dissect everything more and more. The more you dissect things, the more you speculate, you lose the essence of it. So over here, and plus people who believe in that they're going to go and immerse themselves with Brahman. For them, I mean, these don't make any sense actually. So reading this, why are you reading the Bhagavad Gita so many times? What does it mean? But for us, the more times we read, the more we understand differently. Every time you read the Bhagavad Gita once. Next time, as we say, you're in a different mode. You read next time, you'll find the meaning different. Again, the same verse might sound different. You might feel it differently. So it is for people who are in a different guna, the different mode you are in, you will have different meanings or different understanding. So here Vidura is trying to tell to Maitreya, please, I don't want to, and please tell us the way, just talk only the important things, of the Krishna Katha, which is really important to me. I'm not interested in people like mental speculators and the people who do not believe in a Krishna Katha. So I think we'll end over here. Mataji, please forgive me. I read the 25 to 27, but it happened to be we had to do these verses. But I think I'll just read one small quickly a verse so that just to end it over here. So the ultimate knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate knowledge. So Vidya Bhagavata Vidhi, if one wants to be educated, he has come to the limit of Srimad Bhagavatam. All the sublime information is there. If we take the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is indicated, every one of us should take to Krishna consciousness. The original Vishnu is Lord Krishna. And Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Paritajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Shishyami Mo Suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. That's Gita 18.66. So the purpose of all Vedic knowledge is to understand Krishna. And as soon as we understand Krishna, then Krishna says, Tyaktva deham punar janma naiti. Upon leaving the body, we do not take birth again in this material world, but attain Krishna's abode. That is in Gita 4.9. If we want to stop this repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease, then we must take shelter of Lord Vishnu. And Krishna is the origin of all Vishnu Tattva expansions. That means we must become Krishna conscious. That is the highest benefit of life. This is just a small excerpt from one of the chapters from Back to Godhead magazine. So for us, the takeaway message of here is today's is whenever we read a scripture, please place an asan for Lord Krishna to come and sit. We also should sit on asan and we keep our Bhagavatam. We do, even if it's electronic, also doesn't matter. Try to make it like a physical book. If you're there, and then give it, or in your mentally, if there's no asana, and mentally also you think that, okay, Krishna, I'm placing an asana for you, please come and sit here. And then you read the katha and think as though Krishna is listening. So imagine Krishna sitting over there and listening, and then you see the difference. We shall all try this, and then you all have to tell us your experiences. Hare Krishna, I think I will end the chapter here, Mataji. and Prabhuji's. Please forgive me for my mistakes, and I'm so sorry. I don't think we have any time to open the class, but I think there's a bhajan now. So
Thank you,
please forgive
Mataji.
me. After the bhajan, if there's time, then we can open the class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, as always, beautifully explained. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. So, Mataji, for
Krishna,
today's
blessings,
bhajan,
Lord.
we have our one and only Jyoti Mataji singing Yuglastikam along with Devika. So, along with dear Devika. So, we're looking forward to that. Hari Bol, Mataji.
Hare
When you're,
Krishna.
we can do with the English translation first. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation: Radha is made of pure love for Krishna, and Hari is made of pure love of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is the treasure of Krishna, and Hari is the treasure of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha pervades the life force of Krishna, and Hari pervades the life force of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is totally melted with Krishna, and Hari is totally melted with Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is situated in the body of Krishna, and Hari is situated in the body of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is fixed in the heart of Krishna, and Hari is fixed in the heart of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha wears cloth of blue, and Hari wears cloth of yellow color. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is the mistress of Vrindavana, and Krishna is the master of Vrindavana. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Prema Mayi Radha Radha Prema Mayo Hari Shivane Nadane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Krishnasya Dravinam Radha Radhaya Dravinam Hari Jivane Nandane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Krishna Pranamai Radha Radha Pranamayo Hari Jivane Nandane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Krishna Dravamai Radha Radha Dravamayo Hari Jivane Nadane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Krishna Gehastita Radha Radha Gehastito Hari Jivane Nandane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Krishna Chitastita Radha Radha Chitastito Hari Jivane Nandane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Nila Baradara Radha Pitambaradaro Hari Jivane Nadane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama Vrindavaneshwari Radha Krishna Vrindavaneshwara जीवने नदने नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful, beautiful singing, beautiful recitation.
Harika.
Absolutely melodious, Mataji. Very beautiful. Thank you so much for giving us this, nice Ravanam. We could hear beautiful songs.
Sorry for any mistakes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Mataji, very beautiful, very beautiful.
We have practiced this from dear Inakshi and Pavani, and thank you to the girls. We've been listening to their recordings and practicing.
Yes, they are absolutely. I mean, I've heard
They
the song
are
before
amazing.
also, but
This
you
is
did very
their
well,
perfect
Mataji.
bhajan.
I mean, it is so. I mean, the tune itself is so nice. I
Yes.
couldn't help myself singing behind muted mic.
Yeah, I would like to thank Inakshi and Pavani for this bhajan because I've learned it from them too. Girls.
Nice,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Any questions from this class, Matajis and Prabhujis?
Just to say it was very beautiful. What wonderful effort. You said you had to learn it. It's really, really nice.
Yes, yes.
We
Nice.
enjoyed it. Mataji was authentic.
Absolutely nice. Even I enjoyed the song, Mataji. Very beautiful. Anything from the class we have, Mataji? I think they're all Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mamta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
How are you doing? Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. As always, you are ready to fill in the gap last minute, and then you gave such a nice class. Thank you, Mataji. One point when we were talking about the three modes of material nature, the stomach and the subject. So we cannot, nobody can be separated from the three modes. We cannot be always on the mode of goodness, because when we sleep, we are in the mode of
tamas. You're talking about sleeping, right?
Yes. So we have to balance, like we have to go to work, we have to earn, we have to have a house, we have to live, right? So we cannot be completely away from the two first. We have to balance, but mostly we have to be on the goodness. And after that, we slowly climb the steps to the Sattvic, the pure goodness, mode of pure goodness. And living in this material world, we are always in contact with material nature. And this is what we get. We get the free modes. We have to be always engaged. These free modes will not, sometimes goodness is high, sometimes tamas is high, sometimes rajas is high, sometimes, but as devotees, we have to balance. We have to see, we cannot say, I'm not going to sleep, or I'm not going to work. We have to do all this, but at the same time, we have to focus on the goodness and the pure goodness. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So basically, what I was trying to say, Mataji, over there is, if we get absorbed into devotional service, all the attachments go. So that is where all your different modes will be lessened and your goodness will increase. Yes, of course, we're in this material nature. So all those modes will be attached to us. There's no doubt about it, Mataji. Thank you so much for that. We can never get away from everything. If Krishna wants, things can happen, but that's a different story altogether. But what we should try in our own form is try to see Krishna in the form of in his Vani, or whatever you hear, the song, the kathas which we hear, we try to put Krishna in center of everything. So by doing that, what will happen?
Yes,
the other
Mataji.
gunas will slowly cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, devotees are already on the sattvic path, right? But we have still to balance, because Maya is ready to drag us down, always there waiting to just drag us down. So we have to be like very focused.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Just one thing. The bhajan was very nice. Thank you to the singers. Could you put the the link to the bhajan in the chat, so maybe we can look at it later on again, because it's very meaningful and very beautiful.
Oh, it is there in the KK songs, Mataji. If you just go to the thing, it comes. I mean, you
KK
just
song.
Krishna Prema Mai Radha. It comes as Yugalashtakam.
Okay.
So in KK songs, if you just put Krishna Prema Mai Radha, and then you in Google, right? If you just put, and then you put KK songs.
Okay.
Then
That's
it comes up, all the lyrics comes, and also in that when you go to the KK songs at the bottom, suppose if some of the songs they can give you the harmonium or the lyrics, of the tune they can give, and also sometimes some of the songs are written in different languages also. Like you can get the same thing in Hindi. If people don't want English, you have to just click on the letter over there. So if you go to the proper page, this is a very good website actually for Krishna Kirtana songs, and this was established in 2001. They've done this very beautifully, this whole thing. Any songs we do from there, and when you go over there, there's a small box over there. Even for lyrics also, you can have in a different language if it is available for translation. So you can have the lyrics in Hindi or in English, or if the language is available in Bengali or in Oriya or in Telugu or Tamil, depending upon whichever devotee is able to translate that into a different language. And sometimes the tune is also there. So it is absolutely beautiful, Mataji. I think maybe Jyoti Mataji can just share the link maybe. And then
because I came across this first time KK songs, I have not heard of it, so it will be very
maybe
easy.
Mataji can just share the link, and then they can just go directly to the page.
Yes,
Yes, Mataji. I just shared the name and KK songs, and if you just go on Google and type Krishna Prema Mai Radha KK songs, it will come up, and then you just click on it, and the bhajan is there.
Maybe just share the link, Mataji, with for them. I don't know how you would share it. I don't know whether you can share it in the chat thing or not.
Yeah.
Or maybe take Mataji's this thing and share it off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy for them to just get the page, and then they can work it out later.
Yeah, Mataji, if you just text me, and I'll share the bhajan with you. My number is on the chat right now.
Yeah, she's given the number.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think I can figure it out. So thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If there are no more things, then should we just do you think should always be already more than 9 o'clock? So should we end the class today, Mataji? And
yes,
Prabhuji?
please. Yes, please, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class, and thank you for helping us out this evening. Thank you so much.
Please forgive me for my mistakes. Thank you, Indalekha Mataji, for always your comments. Always appreciated. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Srimad
Hare
Bhagavatam ki
Krishna.
jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Please, devotees, Wednesday is Gita Jayanti. So, obviously, in the manner there'll be lots of things happening on the weekend or something. But because it's the middle of the week, that day, please, at least everybody try to read at least a chapter of the Gita or some verses, depending upon our time. And some people can do recitation of the whole Gita, and try to do puja for the Gita itself, and do some sort of abhishek if you want to do for the Lords, and then with as you say, put an asana and try to read your verses. And I wish you all a very happy Gita Jayanti in case I don't see you all that time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, did you mention it's Ekadashi as well?
Mataji?
Ekadashi as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's an Ekadashi too, same day.
So I just
and it's a
wanted
very, very nice day because
special
Gita,
one,
Ekadashi and falling on the same day, so very, very once in a God knows how many years it comes. I'm not sure. I have to count now to see. It's falling on the same day, Ekadashi and Gita Jayanti. Quite auspicious. Thank you, Janukani Mataji, for reminding. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji, for wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Mataji.